If you're a writer or a screenwriter like me and you're struggling through writer's block, then this is the episode that you don't want to miss on Film Squad. Okay, so if you're like me, you're a writer or you're a filmmaker and you want to make movies. Well, one part of making a movie is writing your own script. And I found over the years that I always struggle getting past the first 4 pages of a script. And I've talked to a lot of my colleagues and they've said the exact same thing. They keep getting stuck around the 4th page, or they know the story but they can't get through the writing process because they're not sure what dialogue they should write. I have a few techniques that I use to motivate me to sit down and actually continue writing. And one of them is making a Spotify playlist with music that kind of resembles the style of film or story that you're trying to tell, because it puts you in the moment where you were when you first started writing that. I have made a Spotify playlist for every single one of my projects that I've written, and I think it will benefit you guys as well. That's the first thing. The second thing is just write. Don't worry about what you're writing. Just keep writing and don't even go back to edit anything, because that's when you're going to fall into the loop. And the loop is where you just continuously rewrite until you're happy. But what you need to do is don't even think about it. Just keep writing the story until it's done. And by the time it's done, then you'll come up with other ideas and other loops and stuff that might work into the story later. And that's when you want to go back. Read it the second time around and do the rewrite after you've already completed it. There are going to be some crappy spots that you're not happy with, but you'll just have to, it'll come to you at that point that you need to fix it. Another thing that I do is I write every day for 10 minutes, whether it be on the same project or a different project. But I do make it a thing to sit down and finish a full project. But if I get stuck in some kind of rut, I do just go on to something else and start writing another project. And I'll come back to that later. 10 minutes a day is a pretty good time to, mash out 10 pages. If you can write a page a minute, which isn't a lot in screenplay or in screenplay world, in novel world it's a little bit, but screenplays are a little bit different. Another thing that I do with every single project is I make sure that I know what the beats of the story are going to be. So what I do is I get a notebook and I write everything down. I write everything down that I need. And I actually have an example. Here's a short film idea. A guy reads his ideas with his cassette recorder in order to write a screenplay that comes to life. Only he sees these things come to life. His parents bring him to see a doctor because they think he's crazy. So now I want to write the short film around that. And now I know where it's going. So I know when I go to start writing the screenplay that I know what I'm writing about. Some people just go in blind, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to go in blind and just shoot and just write and shoot a screenplay. I've recently been doing this 10-minute method, which has been working really, really well. I bought this book and I'm going to read some of it to you. It's called The Coffee Break Screenwriter, Writing Your Script 10 Minutes at a Time. Now, I've been really religious to this, and I think it is good for everybody. So here, I'm gonna read the first thing here. Getting past brain freeze. So you've carved out that 10 minutes, but now your brain is frozen. What was it you're gonna write again? It was about that guy who did that thing in that place. Well, believe it or not, that's a start. So while you have 10 minutes, let's put these elements in order and see what you've come up with. Main character. What kind of person is he or she? What problem or situation occurs. The activity, what does he or she do about it? Stakes, ultimately, what does he or she have to lose to deal with the problem? So what you've accomplished by doing this, by listing some central elements, you've begun to figure out your story. Add a couple of other ideas into the mix and you'll see it take a clearer shape. Another thing that they have put in here is emotion. Every screenwriting teacher has a theory about story. Action triggers emotion. Emotion triggers action. Honestly, that's it. In screenplays, you can't have one without the other. And it's important as you go through these tools and build your screenplay that you keep in mind how married these two things are. After all, who cares about a major event in a movie like a bomb going off, or a car chase, or a haunting, or a wedding, unless we get a chance to see how that bomb or chase or haunting or wedding affects the character. And how we invest in what a character is actually feeling if we haven't been to an event that drove her or him or them to that emotional place. Action shows us the story, and emotion pushes the story forward. And you can take 10 minutes by doing this. Start off with your main character on an active emotional journey by asking the following questions. In the beginning of my story, this event occurs. It makes my main character feel this way. And so he does this. But that makes someone else do this. Insert whatever you're going to do. That event makes your main character feel this way. So your main character does this. Keep asking these questions and see how much story you can invent in 10 minutes. Now, like I've said, I've done this for every script that I've written so far, and I feel like my scripts are more polished than they used to be because I keep finding ways to integrate parts of the storyline into a part of the storyline later on and insert small little jokes and action sequences for a reason and not just to have them. A lot of people, they start writing a movie script, let's say, and they're just like, oh, I want this big explosion and this creepy dude to come out of a TV. That's what they want their short film about for some reason. I don't know why. There's not really any story to that. And they never know what their story is actually about. If you can say what your story is about in one sentence, you probably have a higher probability of getting it sold. And if the first 10 pages introduces all the main characters and introduces you to the actual story and you have feelings for these people, you'll probably get your script sold as well. Right now is the time to write. And the reason is because there's so many streaming services that are hiring on baby writers. And if you don't know what baby writers are, they're writers that are new because they're looking for fresh content. There's so many streaming services that are competing against each other, and they are looking and just itching for content. And so if you guys just pick up this book, start writing. The link will be on the YouTube channel, not on the podcast page. But if you go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/filmsquad, you'll be able to find the link in the description. But if you want to get your movie idea made, now is the time to get it fully written and start pitching it to companies, or create it yourself, film it, and sell it. So if you guys enjoyed this and you want to join the Film Squad, smash that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, like, comment, and share. It's important to share this to help us grow as a channel and as a podcast, and we appreciate every little bit, guys. So please, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, whatever you're doing, and don't forget to add us on Instagram at Bad Portraits with a Z and at Randy Meehan. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening, and have yourselves a great day.